I thought Nigeria was just one country, but after visiting 5 states, I felt like I had visited 5 different nations. Today, you'll improve your English by discovering them with me. Hello and welcome. In today's intermediate English lesson, we will listen to my story in slow and clear English. This video is designed to help you learn. First, you will hear the complete story about my cultural shocks in Nigeria. Then, we will review the story together with both English and Spanish text on the screen. After that, we will learn some key vocabulary and a useful expression. Finally, I will ask you some questions to check your understanding. Let's begin. My journey began with a simple idea: explore Nigeria. I had seen pictures and heard stories, but I wasn't prepared for the reality. Before I left, my friends gave me a lot of advice, but nothing could truly prepare me for the diversity I was about to experience. I landed in Lagos, a city that hits you with its energy the moment you step out of the airport. The noise, the heat, the sheer number of people, it was overwhelming, but also incredibly exciting. This was just the beginning of a trip that would take me to Lagos, Oyo, Abuja, Kano, and Calabar, and each place would challenge my perceptions in a new way. My first cultural shock was the concept of time. I had a meeting scheduled for 2 p.m. in Ibadan, Oyo State. I arrived at 1:50 p.m., proud of my punctuality. I waited. And waited. My contact arrived at 3:30 p.m., smiling, with no apology. He just said, "Ah, you are here. Good." I was confused, maybe even a little annoyed. Later, I learned about African time. It's not about being disrespectful, it's a more fluid approach to schedules. Life's priorities, like family or an unexpected conversation, can be more important than a strict timetable. It took me a while to get used to it, but it taught me to be more patient and flexible. My next shock was in Calabar, a city famous for its food. I love spicy food, or so I thought. I confidently ordered the local jollof rice and some afang soup. The first bite was an explosion of flavor. The second bite was an explosion of fire. My mouth was burning. I was sweating, my eyes were watering, and I had to drink 3 bottles of water. My host laughed and said, "This is not even that spicy for us." I realized that the Nigerian definition of spicy was a whole different ball game. From the peppery suya in the north to the seafood dishes in the south, every region had its own unique and powerful flavors that I learned to approach with a little more caution. Greeting etiquette was another complex lesson. In Lagos, a handshake and a "how are you" was common. But when I visited a friend's family in Oyo State, I saw younger people prostrating or kneeling to greet elders. I was introduced to an elderly woman, Mama, and I extended my hand for a handshake. There was an awkward silence. My friend gently pulled my hand back and whispered that I should bow my head as a sign of respect. In the north, with the Hausa people, the greeting was different again, often involving a squat and specific phrases. Each gesture was a deep sign of respect, and I quickly learned that a simple handshake was not always enough. I thought I spoke English, but in Nigeria, I discovered a new kind of English, pidgin. The official language is English, but on the streets, in the markets, pidgin is king. The first time someone asked me, "How far?" I started explaining the distance to my hotel. They laughed and explained it just means, "How are you?" or "What's up?" It was fascinating. Pidgin is a creative, expressive, and efficient language that connects people from hundreds of different ethnic groups. Learning a few phrases like, "Wedding day happen?" "What's happening?" or "No wahala, no problem," helped me connect with people on a completely different level. Finally, the pace of life was a huge shock. Lagos is a city of hustle. Everyone is moving, working, selling, creating. The energy is intense and can be exhausting. Then I flew to Abuja, the capital. It was like entering another country. The roads were wide and clear, the city was organized, and the atmosphere was calm and quiet. It was a city of administration, not commerce. Then, going to ancient Kano in the north felt like stepping back in time, with its historic city walls and a much slower, more traditional rhythm. The contrast was stark and showed me that there is no single, Nigerian experience. My biggest takeaway from this journey was that Nigeria is not a monolith. It's a vibrant, complex, and deeply diverse collection of cultures, languages, and histories all living under one flag. The cultural shocks I experienced were not negative things, they were windows into this incredible complexity. They taught me to be more open, patient, and curious. And they made me fall in love with the country and its amazing people. My journey began with a simple idea: explore Nigeria. I had seen pictures and heard stories, but I wasn't prepared for the reality. Mi viaje comenzó con una idea simple: explorar Nigeria. Había visto fotos y oído historias, pero no estaba preparado para la realidad. My first cultural shock was the concept of time. Later, I learned about African time. It's not about being disrespectful, it's a more fluid approach to schedules. Mi primer choque cultural fue el concepto del tiempo. Más tarde, aprendí sobre el tiempo africano. No se trata de ser irrespetuoso, es un enfoque más fluido de los horarios. The second bite was an explosion of fire. My mouth was burning. I realized that the Nigerian definition of spicy was a whole different ball game. El segundo bocado fue una explosión de fuego. Me ardía la boca. Me di cuenta de que la definición nigeriana de picante era otro mundo. Greeting etiquette was another complex lesson. I saw younger people prostrating or kneeling to greet elders. La etiqueta para saludar fue otra lección compleja. Vi a gente más joven postrarse o arrodillarse para saludar a los mayores. The first time someone asked me, how far, I started explaining the distance to my hotel. They explained it just means, how are you, or what's up. La primera vez que alguien me preguntó, how far, empecé a explicar la distancia a mi hotel. Me explicaron que solo significa, ¿cómo estás?, o, ¿qué pasa? Lagos is a city of hustle. The energy is intense and can be exhausting. The contrast was stark and showed me that there is no single, Nigerian experience. Lagos es una ciudad de ajetreo. La energía es intensa y puede ser agotadora. El contraste fue marcado y me demostró que no existe una única experiencia nigeriana. My biggest takeaway from this journey was that Nigeria is not a monolith. The cultural shocks I experienced were windows into this incredible complexity. Mi mayor lección de este viaje fue que Nigeria no es un monolito. Los choques culturales que experimenté fueron ventanas a esta increíble complejidad. Let's learn some vocabulary. The first word is overwhelming. Overwhelming. It's an adjective that means something is so strong or so great that it's difficult to deal with. For example, the energy in Lagos was overwhelming at first. Our next word is etiquette. Etiquette. This noun refers to the customary code of polite behavior in society or among members of a particular profession or group. For example, I had to learn the local greeting etiquette to show respect. And our final word is monolith. Monolith. This is a noun that describes a large and impersonal organization or social structure regarded as single and uniform. In the story, I used it metaphorically. For example, my trip showed me that Nigeria is not a monolith, it is incredibly diverse. Today's useful expression is a whole different ball game. This is an idiom. It means a situation that is completely different from what you are used to or what you expected. In the story, I said, the Nigerian definition of spicy was a whole different ball game. This means it was much, much spicier than I ever imagined. You can use it to talk about any situation that is surprisingly different. Now, let's check your understanding. Question 1. What was the narrator's first cultural shock in Nigeria? The correct answer is B. His first cultural shock was the concept of African time. Question 2. In which city did the narrator find the food extremely spicy? The answer is C. Calabar is famous for its cuisine, which the narrator found very spicy. Question 3. what does the pidgin phrase, how far, mean? The correct answer is B, how far, is a common pidgin greeting similar to, how are you, or, what's up? Question: what was the narrator's first cultural shock? A. The concept of time. B. ¿Cuál fue el primer choque cultural del narrador? R. El concepto del tiempo. Question: in which city did the food seem extremely spicy? A. Calabar. B. ¿En qué ciudad la comida le pareció extremadamente picante? R. Calabar. Question: what does the pidgin phrase, how far, mean? A. How are you? / what's up? B. ¿Qué significa la frase en pidgin, how far? R. ¿Cómo estás? / ¿qué pasa? Great job today. You have learned about some of the cultural diversity in Nigeria and practiced your English. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more English lessons. And now a question for you: have you ever experienced a cultural shock? Tell me about it in the comments below. I would love to read your stories. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.